Welcome. It's Recovery Monday, live on this 13th day of January. Sponsored by Powell CDC.
I am redeemed. You set me free. So I'll shake off these heavy chains and wipe away every stain. That I'm not who I used to be. I am redeemed.
Good afternoon. It's live View from the Pew here on Recovery Monday on 99.3 KTIA. Excuse me, powered by webcast1live.com. I am trying not to get this bug that is going around, and most of us are doing our best not to get it. But if I have a little cough or a little tickle in my throat, I'll apologize up front, and I'll expect my co-host Bob Montserrat to jump right in the moment there's a moment of silence.
I'm jumping.
To fill that void of my little cough I have. So Lila's in the house today because it's Recovery Monday. Lila, how are you?
Okay. Well, I've got that bug that you're talking about.
Do ya?
I don't know. Something happened yesterday.
It's but you know, I don't know why we get surprised. It's every year it's the same thing, and we all go, "Oh no, there's something going around." Well, yeah.
Yeah, but I never get sick, and this year I've been sick twice.
Really?
Yeah, I just never get sick.
Well, I guess never. Don't say never. And our special guest today is Linda. Linda is a facilitator, a long-term facilitator down at Powell CDC, and she's here to share a little bit of her experience, strength, and hope with us, and what her life was like, what happened, and what her life is like now. So, Linda, welcome to the program, and thanks for being here.
Thank you.
You bet. So, tell us a little bit where you're from. Where's home?
Des Moines, Iowa.
Born and raised here? Mm-hmm. Where'd you go to high school?
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt. Woo-hoo. That was the school back then, wasn't it?
1968, the largest graduating class in the state of Iowa. We still hold that.
Wow. In the state of Iowa. Mm-hmm. Now, was there Valley at that time? So anybody living in West Des Moines?
No, there was Valley, but they weren't like they were now.
It wasn't the new Valley.
Okay.
It wasn't they hadn't split the schools.
Okay. And did you use alcohol while you were in high school?
Yes, when I was 16.
16.
I still remember.
Okay, tell me about that.
I remember drinking a 6-pack of beer and like being, we were outside. I think we were like at Roosevelt outside. And I remember being under the bushes and everybody thought I was really funny and cute. Cute and funny.
Now, you're petite.
Yeah, I weighed 110 pounds.
So 6 beers. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
I had a 6-pack. I'm not sure I drank it all, but
okay.
Maybe I did. I don't remember.
But you drank a lot.
Yes.
And everybody thought you were funny.
Yes.
And what'd you feel like when you woke up?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm sure I was hungover.
But you don't remember it, though, do you?
No.
That's interesting. Mm-hmm. Was that first sip of beer open a new world to you?
No.
No.
I've heard a lot of people say that. No.
It was just...
I didn't like the taste.
You didn't like the taste?
No. A lot of people say they loved it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I didn't feel
I
that
hated
way.
always hated the taste, and kept trying to talk myself into, it's like, I've got to like this. Everyone else likes
Everybody,
it.
yes.
Yeah. And I never,
What's wrong with
never,
me?
ever.
Why don't I like
That's why I ended up with CC and 7, because if you put 7 up with it, I would sort of like it.
CC, Canadian Club?
Yeah.
And then we drank Boone's
Boone's Farm.
Boone's Farm.
Yep. That's
Strawberry or something.
At Roosevelt
Ripple?
at that time, I mean, everybody drank. It was, I think they did, or at least everyone.
Annie Green Springs? Does that sound right? Annie, wasn't there an Annie Green Springs? Okay,
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So did you develop into a liquor drinker at some point, or were you a beer person?
Wine. Boone's, yeah, I didn't like the beer, so I drank more of the wine.
Drank the
beer.
The sweet wine.
Yes, probably.
And do you recall the first time you thought to yourself, wow, that was really stupid what I did, and alcohol made me do it? First time you did something just outlandish and you had been drunk while you did it.
Like at when you went to Iowa, did you do anything like that?
Yeah, I was going to say I could think of times drinking and walking home. What was nice at Iowa was we didn't have cars, so if you drank in the bars, then you could walk home. Mm-hmm. But we had a dry pledge ship, so I didn't drink much freshman year.
Really?
Yeah.
We didn't have that.
You didn't? Oh, we did.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
they did.
Freshman
but
year-
I wasn't so
We had a
You,
dry
you,
pledge.
didn't, well, you weren't aware of it.
No.
So I remember the times I drank, or
Yeah.
at football games. And I also got in trouble doing that in my sorority because it was forecasted that I was going to be drinking. And some of the other older girls came back and told on me. And I was put on probation.
As a freshman. Mm-hmm. Because you weren't supposed to drink.
Yep. Everybody else was. So I
Yeah.
don't know why I got singled out, but I did.
You mean at football games? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can remember at Iowa drinking at football games. Oh, God. In fact, I remember this guy asked me to homecoming, and I told him I couldn't go. And someone else asked me, and I said, yes, I could go. And we ended up at the football game sitting right next to the first guy. And so I just got totally blasted so I wouldn't have to feel the shame.
And what were you
Yeah.
drinking? Beer, right? Or did you bring along your own flask? Or
I'm not, whatever was around. I
Okay.
wasn't picky. It was just,
And at the football games, it seemed to be mostly liquor because they could
That's
mix
what I
it
was
with the
gonna
soda.
say.
Yeah, because you could sneak that in, the flasks.
Right.
You couldn't sneak in the beers easily.
So, but you could drink in sneak in a fifth of liquor.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then get soda and then mix it.
yeah.
So did you ever, during this period at University of Iowa, feel that you had a problem with alcohol?
Nope.
You drank too much?
No, I drank so much less than everybody else.
Okay.
I thought my brain told me that everybody drank so much more than I did.
As you look back now, did you have alcoholic behavior?
Yes. Not remembering, blacking out.
Okay.
Yeah. Not
All right.
remembering, being hungover,
Okay.
drinking too much, being overserved. Yeah.
Okay. If
And especially if it was free, which it always was.
right. If I were to reach back and visit you in that time, and I were to ask a sorority sister, maybe somebody you looked up to, somebody who was a mentor to you, and say, "Tell me about Linda," what would she tell me? Who would she tell me you were? Good student,
Yes.
nice girl,
Yes.
good moral woman.
Yes.
Didn't drink too much, or would she say, "Oh no, Linda liked to drink"?
She was real popular. I mean, I've known her since junior high. She was just this cute blonde, always did things right, never got in trouble,
Yeah,
ran
that's
with
what I
the
know.
in crowd, and she was in a good sorority at Iowa, and just,
No, I drank less and partied less than.
Your counterpart.
Yeah. I was the one always taking care of the others who drank too much.
Okay. Oh, you're
In
the-
high school and.
caretaker.
Yeah. The caretaker.
The caretaker.
Sure. So I couldn't be an alcoholic. I was
Right.
the caretaker.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
So you graduate from the University of Iowa, and what's next for Linda?
I worked and I got married.
Okay.
got married.
And did you work outside the home after you got married?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And how soon until you had children?
3 or 4 years.
And how many did you have?
5.
And did you have them all at once, basically?
No, there's 16 years between the oldest and youngest.
Wow. But was that a plan?
Sure.
I mean, not
God's plan.
God's plan. Okay, but it was all okay. When you got pregnant for the last time, was it? Oh no, not again.
Well, I was 40.
And you
We had a
didn't-
party. Linda is 40 and pregnant, and everybody thought it was a joke.
but it was.
It was Hillary,
It was Hillary.
She is a doll.
my 5th child. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what was your drinking like as a mother?
I didn't drink at home.
I just picture you drinking with your husband. There were lots of, they were in a crowd that partied a lot.
Yes. And drank a lot.
Yeah. out of
And
the
I was the
clubs.
least of the drinkers.
Yeah.
I was the caretaker. Everybody drank much more than I did.
Yeah.
You thought.
I thought.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But that if now that we're sober, looking at that group, they drank a lot.
And some of them have died because of it. Yeah.
I remember you once saying, Lila, in fact, I've heard you say this several times in a meeting, that the first time you went to a meeting, or one of the times you went to a meeting, you were so comfortable because there were all your drinking buddies there.
Yeah.
You just didn't know any of them were in AA.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, Linda, describe for me your life as a mother and wife. Was happy. You were a soccer mom, what would be called a soccer mom today. You were involved with the girls and the boys and did everything with them. Financially, things were fine. You didn't live paycheck to paycheck. What was your marriage like? Because didn't you say that it was your husband's drinking that kind of got you to go to treatment?
Yes, he always drank a lot more than I did. And
you took care of
when
it.
I met him, he drank every day and used to drink with his friends. And I remember his friends being upset when I came along because they lost their drinking buddy. And I remember, I want to say, I think everyone thinks this, things are going to be different after we're married. But it was so socially acceptable to drink,
Right.
Everybody drank after work, after this.
And 3 martini lunches and...
No, not so much.
Not so
no.
much.
Uh-uh.
Okay.
No.
No. What was one of the first times, if you can recall, that your husband's drinking, you sat back and went, oh my, that's just not right. There's something wrong here. Or your drinking?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, it's kind of hard, Oh, I can think of something.
Oh, good. And I can also remember my children, after I went into recovery, them talking about me coming home on Friday night. We always went out on Friday nights, and that's what I would drink, when I would drink. And Wednesday nights, we would drink. We would go out and drink. But I didn't drink at home. And then, of course, if there were other social things, I probably did. But that was regular, Wednesday and Friday.
Okay.
I remember there was a pool party one time. You remember that? And these are wild, crazy people. I mean, these were the people that we ran with. And I think, weren't you thrown in the pool one time?
Oh, I might have been.
Yeah. And it was just, that wouldn't have been, that would have been socially acceptable too. Just because that group of people were loud and I just remember hearing that a long time ago. I don't know if you've ever. Mm-hmm.
Isn't that funny? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
What are some of the things your children shared with you when you got out of treatment that they remembered? You started to say you.
Oh, they remembered me falling up the stairs on Friday nights because we always went out and drank.
I remember seeing you out because I was out drinking too.
And you'd fall up the stairs?
Yes, you'd miss a step.
Climb.
Yeah,
Okay.
climbing up the stairs.
Any
and
other
giggling
things?
and laughing and
Having
being
fun.
loud. Yes, having fun.
Do you think they were scared? The kids?
I want to say I don't think so. I don't know. That's a good question.
That never came out in any of your amends or anything like that?
Well, I apologized.
Yeah.
But I don't think they ever. I don't know. That's a good question.
All right, we're going to take our first break. Our guest is Linda, and she's helping us explore and understand the age of the 60s and 70s when alcohol was so easily accepted, when it was just okay to go out and get hammered. Most of the time, when you got pulled over by the police, you didn't get a DUI. You got escorted home, depending on who you were. And I can remember that in my life. I look back and think, man, it was obvious to everybody but me that I had a problem.
Yeah.
When I would get pulled over coming from a radio station event, and because the guy knew who I was, he'd let me go. I mean,
That wouldn't happen today.
that's just wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it doesn't happen today.
Right.
Yeah, for those of you who think the fat cats, the high-end political people, they get away with that stuff, they don't anymore. You can't. Just not unacceptable. All right, we'll be back. Linda is my guest. Lila is my co-host. Bob Montserrat, the Cat in the Hat, and Ryan producing the show today. Brought to you by the good folks at Powell CDC. I'm J. Michael McCoy, and if I haven't told you lately, thanks for listening. Love this job. Couldn't do it without you right here on 99.3 KTIA, powered by webcast1live.com.
A father who is headed toward another heart attack. A woman who struggles daily with diabetes and her memory. A boy whose headaches keep him out of school. A mother who one morning discovers a lump. A girl whose condition defies diagnosis. You come to us because you need answers, but you also need more. You need understanding of what you're going through. You need comfort. You need to be treated as an individual, not a condition. You need to be included in your own care. You are the point of everything we do. That's why we're changing to Unity Point Health. It's a model of care that will help us work better together, where the physician who knows you best takes the lead, coordinating your care through every step, from the hospital to specialists to rehabilitation to health services in the home and in the community, to making sure the treatments are effective. By working as a team, we surround you with care, helping you manage your health and your conditions, guiding you to making better choices and living a healthier life. The point of Unity is you. Unity Point Health.
Hey, psst. Let me let you in on a little secret. You ready? Always try to do business with people, not places, especially if you seek honest Christian business people. And when it comes to my car, I really need to trust who's working on it. Now, my family is so blessed. A few years ago, we found a family-owned automobile repair shop that operates as a Christian business also. Open, honest, reliable, trustworthy. It's AMCO on Hickman Road in front of Kmart, and it's a family-owned Christian operating business. This family treats your car as if it was their car. Everything from oil changes to transmission repair and everything in between. So the next time you feel the need to be at peace with your choice of who you can trust with your car, give AMCO on Hickman a chance to serve you. And tell them Max sent you.
If Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of America was your personal webmaster, Tom would filter out all bad debt emails. If Tom was your mailman, you'd never get any debt reduction junk mail. If Tom Coates was a lineman, he'd block any phone calls offering to reduce your credit card debt.
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America, and we're still your best choice for credit counseling. We're local, we're accountable, and we can do more. You make the call when the time's right for you.
When it comes to competition, there really is none for Consumer Credit of America.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast 1 Live. Okay, we're back. Recovery Monday, brought to you by Powell CDC. I'm J. Michael McCoy. Thanks for listening. Remember that Powell is here for you in a detox situation, in outpatient, short-term inpatient, aftercare groups. It is their mission. It is their passion. And if there's something you hear today that resembles you, that you didn't want to deal with, you didn't want to face, but something Lila or Linda or myself or Bob say, and you go, oh, my, maybe, just maybe. Or maybe it's somebody you love. Maybe it's somebody you care for. Maybe it's somebody you work with. It is very, very difficult to determine whether someone is quote-unquote alcoholic. I like the phrase that's used around the 12-step meetings. If you have to ask, you probably are.
Yeah.
I, for many years, in fact, when I first came into the 12-step program, I had a guy that I had worked fairly closely with over the years. He was my cable guy. This was back when I could actually page my own cable guy that worked for Hawkeye or whoever it was, and they'd come fix my cable or do it at the clubs or wherever I was. And he put his arm around me, Wayne, put his arm around me and says, we've been waiting for you.
Oh.
Said, we always knew you were one of us. And that, I'll never forget that. I was like, wow, really? Because see, like you, well, unlike you, Linda, I didn't drink out in public. I drank at home. I had many, 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 many good friends. Tom Coates is one of them. Tom and I have been, buddies for years. And he actually said to me, I didn't know you drank that much. because I didn't sit in restaurants. I didn't down in my basement, nice and quiet.
Yeah.
Well, now I had 3 DUIs, so I guess I must have been drinking outside the basement at some point or another.
You know, I heard one time that people that, I don't know if this is true, but people that drink socially at bars need help with their social skills, and that's why they drink.
Mm-hmm.
And people that drink at home by themselves need help with their inner self.
Right.
Trying to
That would be
figure that
true
out.
for me.
Yeah.
I didn't have any desire to drink in a bar. I didn't want to listen to somebody else's problems. I didn't want to deal with you if you were drunk. Drunk people were idiots. I don't want to deal with them because I wasn't that way when I drank.
Yeah.
The idea that I would pick my wife up and throw her into a pool wouldn't even cross my... It would probably cross my mind sober, but not... No. I just kind of faded into a lesser of me, and it was exactly right. It was what's inside of me was sick.
Yeah.
And I just kept trying to kill it until finally I realized that it was going to win and I was going to die.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, Linda, you are how old were you when you went to treatment?
40.
Well, how old was Hillary?
I'm trying to think. 5 or 6. So I
Okay.
must have been 40, 45, 46.
And what was it that told? I'm going to back up. What or who told you you should go to treatment? You know,
A counselor.
a counselor, a marriage counselor,
Yes.
because you wanted to save your marriage.
Yes.
Now, did your husband at the time, did he go to treatment?
No.
He didn't need to?
Yes.
Why didn't the counselor make him go?
The counselor didn't make me go. It was
Okay.
suggested.
Okay.
And then they suggested that my husband go too. And he said he couldn't.
Couldn't or wouldn't?
Couldn't.
Why couldn't he?
He said he couldn't.
Okay. So you go off to, what's it called?
The Meadows.
The Meadows in Arizona. And this is a full-blown inpatient, I don't want to use the word resort, but it's not like a hospital, right?
Right. It's like a resort. I mean, but it's hard work.
Right.
But they have a swimming pool, and it's it's nice. A lot of movie stars go there.
Okay. Is it dual gender, both men
Yeah.
and women?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. All ages?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you went there, what year was that? Well, you graduated from 68, and at 40, so that was 68, 78 to 88, so that was like 94?
About 97.
97, okay. And what did you learn there about yourself?
I learned about codependency. I learned about alcoholism. I went to get evaluated to find out if I was alcoholic. Nobody asked. And to learn about addiction.
Yeah.
And I did.
And I think one of the things you've always said is that for you to quit drinking wasn't a big problem at all.
Nope.
But the main thing was your codependency, and you didn't even know that was a problem until you went there, and you're still in a group. I mean, that's something you have to work on for life. But
Yes.
she's in a group now, one of our aftercare programs, and she's been in for years, and it's
Since I came back from there.
yeah, and it's a group of people that work on their codependency.
And I was enmeshed in my marriage and didn't really have a sense of self.
Okay. What was the epiphany on you were a caretaker? You remember the moment that somebody said something in a group or a counselor and you went, oh, that's it. I get it.
No, it was more like coming back from there. And that was hard, coming back into my family and because I was treated differently when I came back from there.
Really? How?
Yeah.
Like a China doll?
No, like an outsider. Like
Like something's wrong
shamed.
with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if Lila hadn't been there, that was very difficult. It was. I had a babysitter that was not interested in my coming back. She had things in control, and when I came back, and my husband left right when I came back.
Okay.
It was very difficult. It was supposed to be different than that when I came back.
Yeah.
And it was worse. Gratefully, I had some skills from there to use, and I went right into going to meetings. They tell you when you come back to go to 90 meetings in 90 days.
Yep.
I did.
Yep, me too.
And I, just to keep my head above water, to keep my sanity, and I was in so much pain. Yeah.
Yeah, because you had no idea that was going to happen to your marriage.
No.
In fact,
Because it kept being told it wasn't. That was it. I was told one thing, and my reality was different than what was being said.
said by your husband?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I can remember that. That happens a lot, not necessarily with
Yes.
alcoholics, but you start feeling like you're crazy.
Yes.
I know, I'm thinking this with women I know whose husbands drink, and the husband's saying that they aren't drinking, and they intuitively know that they are, but you start feeling like you're crazy. It's like, then why do I feel like you're drinking? You're lying to me, but you don't have proof. You don't know what's going on.
do you want proof?
Yeah,
You do.
absolutely.
So you're not in denial. I mean, I can tell you if the roles were reversed, I'd be the caretaker. I'd make sure that my wife was taken care of. And if I thought she was drinking, I would probably be in denial and I would not confront her because I'm here to love her, care for her, take care of her, be a safe place, not that wall that's going to tell her bad, shame, shame.
Whoa, good for you.
But that'd be wrong, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because you're not really helping.
Yeah.
I was the direct opposite with my husband.
Yeah, because he drank behind your back for 4 years.
Yeah.
And I can't believe you couldn't catch him.
Well, he was out of town when he did that. At one point I started thinking, isn't it weird that he always calls me at the beginning of the evening?
And not at the end.
Yeah. But I thought, well, he's going out with some friends, and I didn't think he was drinking, though.
Yeah. All right, so Linda, you're back from. I'm imagine it was an eye-opening experience down in the Meadows. You probably got a little bit of self-worth because somebody said you're okay. It's not you. It doesn't seem right to me. And then you discovered that the stories being told at home didn't match reality. And then all of a sudden, boom, husband's gone. Where are the kids? Emotionally. Are they with dad? Are they with mom? Are they caught in the middle? Are they absent?
They're there. Hillary was only 5 or 6. My
Okay.
youngest, 6. So,
right.
well, yeah, she was there. I get back and get right into the schools, and I had them in different schools. So there was one in college,
Okay.
a couple in high school, junior high, middle school.
And
grade school.
how would they, if they were sitting here, how would they tell me that period of time impacted them?
I don't know.
You know, would they say, and let's just take your oldest one that was at home. Well, Mom, it didn't surprise me. I mean, you and Dad were always fighting, and he was always telling you that, you know, you drank too much. And I used to tell Dad to shut up, that he drank just as much as you did. And, you know, it was obvious to us. Or was it, we just thought everything was normal. We just thought that's how we did things.
Yeah.
We'd always done things that way. You always came home Wednesday night. You always came home Friday night. Can you share with me whether you think any of your children are alcoholics?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about it.
I don't know.
Okay.
They do some binge drinking. I don't
Okay.
like that. I don't
Yeah.
like that binge drinking. I have some friends that are judges, and they talk about the girls binge drinking. And I have 4 daughters and a son.
Yeah. So
I don't like that.
Yeah. That is a worrisome.
Yeah, none of them seem to drink every day.
But it's Friday night and we're going to class on Monday, so something in between means we're drunk. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
Any grandbabies?
6.
6. And life there is pretty normal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Big
That's
smile.
what I think of.
Big smile right there.
Yeah.
On the radio, you can't see it. Big smile from Grandma.
And that's what I see. If Linda had continued the drinking, that she wouldn't. Her life now it consists a lot with her grandbabies. I mean, she does a lot with them, and in the summer they're all up at her place up at the lake, and they all really have fun. And that wouldn't have happened if you had continued with the drinking. So I don't think you give yourself enough credit.
Well,
for being sober.
The question is, would you be alive if you hadn't quit drinking? I mean, that's the tough one we all face. But, it's interesting because until I got into those rooms, those 12-step rooms, I thought I was the only one that might die.
Yeah.
Nobody's was as bad as mine. I remember the first time I said at a meeting, you'll never get the taste of gun oil out of your mouth. And I know that's shocking. I don't say it to be shocking. I just can't get the taste of gun oil out of my mouth when I put that gun in my mouth just to see how it felt. I hadn't written a note or anything, so I wasn't really ready to do it. Just taking it one step further. Just one step further. And I went, oh, ugh. And anyway.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, when we come back, how Linda is helping so many other people, both young and old, both wives and husbands and men and women from all generations, how she's committed her life to helping those who are in that terrible place that so many alcoholics, so many drug addicts, so many people with life's hurts, habits, and hang-ups run into. We'll be back. This is Recovery Monday, brought to you by Powell CDC, here live on 99.3 KTIA, powered by webcast1live.com.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
I'm Brian Leach, owner and general manager of Service Legends. I brought along a couple of the home comfort heroes.
Hi, I'm Tammy Wells.
I am Nick Wondershide.
I'm administrative manager
I'm the senior technician.
from Service Legends.
It seems like every good thing, when you feel it to the bone that it's good, there's a lot of hard work put behind it. I don't think that you can fake it and have it turn out good.
If we seem like, okay, that's just weird, it's just a furnace, why would you believe so deeply in a furnace? It's not just that, we want to show the world that you can have good service.
Yeah, it's your home.
It's built into our daily trainings, it's built into our culture, that we're gonna do whatever it takes to have each client say they love us, period.
That's why we spend all the hours in the training that we do. And if we guarantee it's gonna be a good experience for you, or else it's free, what type of work do you think we're gonna do?
There is a guarantee.
Temperature selection guarantee, fixed right or it's free guarantee, comfort guarantee, best value guarantee. All of these guarantees hold us accountable to ensuring that we exceed your expectations. And if for whatever reason we'd fail and we can't make it right, we guarantee all of those guarantees with a 100% money back guarantee.
If you don't think that your technician can fix it right, are you gonna say that to a client? No.
You don't have to worry about having a technician come to your house.
We drug test, background check all of our team members. We put safe people in your home. Each and every one of our service techs, 400 hours a year in training.
You tell it the minute they walk in the door. They know what they're doing, they've done their homework, and they actually truly care about what you want.
Because at the end of the day, you're the person that makes sure I have a job.
They're gonna be listening. They're gonna wanna know what your challenges are. Then they're gonna come and give you options, and you get to choose.
If I'm there to help and I make it easy and painless, I did my job right that day.
Well, when it comes to your comfort, safety, and your family, you don't necessarily go buy the most expensive, but you get the most bang for your buck.
Oh, it's worth it, because there's a lot of people that will find a way to get it to work right now and then leave and then come back, charge you again, and the cycle just repeats itself. So when I'm out there looking at the furnace, I want to find why it failed today. How can we change the part today with something that you're not going to have to worry about? Is it worth changing the part today? You can put a lot of money into a furnace. I can fix parts all day. There's good job security in that for me, but is it the right thing for you?
I get a lot of the phone calls of after the technicians are there. They're just in awe. They're like, wow, you guys are great. I don't even know what to say. You guys are great. Everything you did was perfect. It was great.
Keep going though. I like this.
Just give us a try. I'm gonna take all the risk.
I've got the time to make this right. I've got the support to make it right.
Just check us out.
And if you don't see the value in what we do,
I mean, fixed right or it's free or 100% money back.
enough said.
Okay, 22 before the top. Salem Radio Network News at 4 o'clock, and then at 4:03, it's Michael Mudloff and True Blue here on this 13th day of January. If this is not the 13th day of January and you're hearing this show, that means that this show is one of the best of, and I think it is. And so therefore there will be times when this show might be played back when Lila or I or Bob are not able to host the show. So we thank you for taking the time to listen to this live, or some of the, we don't know how many, thousands of people that download our podcast and listen to this show. I think the last quarter was like 38,000 podcasts have been downloaded in the third quarter.
Wow. And
we're going to get our fourth quarter numbers here pretty quick. All right. Linda is my guest today. She is 48 and sober, back from treatment, right? And without a husband because he left you. 5 kids ranging from age 5 to
College.
21. And you decide that you're going to start to give back and get into a aftercare group and work with other women and men who have found themselves in a particular situation like you found yourself in. Where, how does that feed you? Because people who do this do it because we're caregivers. And we get more back by doing it than the people that ever get when we help them, right?
I'll tell you what, when you see somebody new come in and it reminds you of where you were and you know how to help them, it just fills your heart. And I can see that in your group.
Yeah. Also, when you come back, there's nowhere for you to go. You don't fit anywhere anymore. So that's what I found was that Monday night group. I could come and talk about what was going on, and it was interesting because when I started that group, I talked about everybody else.
Oh yeah.
And then after a while, you start talking about yourself. I
My
was so
group would
other
let me talk,
focused.
yes.
Yes,
I
and
was
I
too.
was pointed out on that too. And I was also seeing a counselor, and I didn't know if I was a foot or horseback when I got back.
You didn't know if you were on foot or horseback.
Yeah, because I had been in a 30-year marriage, and all of a sudden I was by myself.
Yeah.
And raising these 5 kids, but married. So you know, and you're by yourself.
Now,
by yourself.
You said but married. What does
And
that mean?
married.
Because you physically and emotionally you weren't married.
Yes.
You were.
Oh yeah.
You were, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And
And then just dealing with everything by yourself, and then the weekend comes, and there's nobody to do anything with. You know, you're
did
married.
you feel alienated from that group of friends that you had for so long?
Yes.
Okay. Because right or wrong, we do end up choosing one of the two spouses.
Yes.
And since your group was the party group, and you weren't partying anymore, you were left on the street. What did you do with that time? What did you do on Wednesday nights? What did you do on Friday nights?
Went to meetings.
Went to meetings.
They were my social life.
Okay. All right. And, but very fulfilling, right?
Yes. Met a lot of new people, new friends in different communities wherever I was. Because I had some kids in college, and when I would go there to visit them, I would go to meetings.
Okay.
And then she lives up at the lake in the summer, and so
that was hard because
Yeah.
I went up there, and a lot of people come up on weekends and then leave during the week. Well, I had social engagements with the kids. They weren't there anymore, or they weren't there or something, and I was by myself, and I went to a meeting every day.
Did you
there.
want to drink?
No,
What did you long for? What was missing?
the companionship.
The companionship. So you went to meetings for companionship.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't care about the drinking. It was the socialization and
connection with other people.
yeah, going out and yeah.
So what do you see yourself doing for the rest of your life? I mean, you're not an old woman by any means. Do you have any desire to get remarried?
Oh, I'd love to.
Okay. You have...
But it's kind of become, it's just not worth it.
It's not worth it.
It's what all my friends have said too.
Yeah.
That's kind of, it's just not worth it. Trying to do the dating and it's just not worth it.
All of my friends that are my age say the same thing. They've tried either that online dating or that people fixing them up, and it just
ends
too much
up
work.
hurting your feelings.
Yeah.
And it's just not worth it.
How about a dog?
My dog just died. I had a therapy dog.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up the
I
dog.
had a black lab therapy dog that I trained and was a companion, and she died last April, and I miss her terribly, especially at Okoboji. She would jump, we'd throw a tennis ball, she'd jump off the dock, come around and use her head and climb up the ladder. We had a little show.
Yeah.
And so I had a dog that went with me everywhere, and I'd take her she'd go to meetings. In fact, on Sunday mornings, my dog used to come in with her little, her canopy and her identification, because she was certified. Now everybody's bringing their dogs to the meetings.
Yeah, I noticed it. We've got a young lady who brings the dog to the Saturday morning meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, I was the leader in that. I'm very proud of that.
Good.
People bring their dogs to socialize them, because I had Jovi.
How do you get to have one of those dogs?
You take them to the classes, and the first time I went to the classes over at it's on
Fluor?
Army Post Road. Yeah, on Army Post Road. And you take a class, and then you have to pass a test, and they have to pass all 13 questions, and they have to do it completely to get it. And you take them through the classes and then through the training, and then you sign all the forms. It's a lot of work, a lot of time.
And it costs money,
It
too.
costs a lot of money, too.
What's a lot of money?
It's about $150 a year.
Okay, a year.
Mm-hmm.
Are you better to take an old dog and try to teach it new tricks, or are you better off to get a brand new puppy?
You don't know. And my dog was old. Jovi was 8 or 9 when I took her, and she just thrived. She couldn't wait to get there. And then some people had puppies, and you don't know until you get through it if the dog will stay away from other dogs, will pick up the food on the floor. Now, I had a black lab. She eats not only her food, but everybody else's.
Right.
But she would leave, you say leave it, and she would leave the food alone.
Why don't you get another dog?
Where I live, we can't have them. Oh. But I think eventually one of my 5 kids is going to. So we'll be getting one soon. And then I want to get her trained and get another therapy dog.
Yeah. Can you have a therapy dog where you live?
Yes. Well, anybody can.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah,
I could do that. And if people said that, I thought, oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, I remember when...
She's a service dog.
Snickers died. That was my puppy. And I'd never felt pain like that before. I had not lost a parent. I'd never felt pain like that. And I remember thinking, I'll never feel good again. And I waited like 3 days, and I went out and got another dog. And I realized that it was okay to replace him. You know, you can't replace a mom or a dad or somebody like that, but you can replace a dog. So you ought to just go out and do it.
Yeah, one of my kids will be getting one in a few years or so. And
well, I mean, I think you should do it today.
Where I live, I can't have a dog. We can't have any animals.
Yeah, but if you were training it to be a therapy dog, could you?
Yes.
Yes.
Legally, they have to.
Yeah.
One of the big loopholes in the state of Iowa, and I think this is a good loophole, but if you want to have a snake and you claim it's a therapy snake, you can have a snake in your apartment where there's no pets. Yeah. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate it. I have no doubt that something you said today triggered something in someone. And if you would like to get to know Linda or talk to her, go through Lila at Powell and get a hold of Lila. And if what you've heard today makes you want to get involved in aftercare, then for heaven's sakes, get a hold of Lila or anyone at Powell CDC and pursue it. It's a gift that you give to yourself. That is just incredible. And when you're feeling low, when you're depressed, when life isn't going the way you want it to, you go out and serve other people in this capacity, and your whole life brightens up. So thank you for coming today. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming. See you later. We're coming back in just a minute, and we'll talk a little bit about the all-new Marriage Matters marriage seminar that we've got coming up Valentine's weekend. We'll talk about that next, live here on The View from a Pew, Recovery Monday, brought to you by Powell CDC on 99.3 KTIA, powered by webcast1live.com.
A father who is headed toward another heart attack. A woman who struggles daily with diabetes and her memory. A boy whose headaches keep him out of school. A mother who one morning discovers a lump. A girl whose condition defies diagnosis. You come to us because you need answers, but you also need more. You need understanding of what you're going through. You need comfort. You need to be treated as an individual, not a condition. You need to be included in your own care. You are the point of everything we do. That's why we're changing to Unity Point Health. It's a model of care that will help us work better together, where the physician who knows you best takes the lead, coordinating your care through every step, from the hospital to specialists to rehabilitation to health services in the home and in the community, to making sure the treatments are effective. By working as a team, we surround you with care, helping you manage your health and your conditions, guiding you to making better choices and living a healthier life. The point of Unity is you. Unity Point Health.
If you choose to obey the power of sin, it leads to death. If you choose to obey obedience, it leads to righteousness.
Forgiveness is just the beginning of life in Christ. God wants us to live for Him now.
And because of Jesus Christ, the gospel was preached, and you and I are blessed today because of Abraham. Did you know that? We're blessed.
Experience Truth, 99.3 FM.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
All right, we're back. 10 before the top. Salem Radio Network news at the top of the hour. Then Michael Mudloff in True Blue. We have a special treat coming up in February, and we wanted to talk about it a little bit right now. And that is Dr. Mike Hartwig, who is my co-host on Restoring Hope Live, the national show that we do for XM Sirius and the American Family Radio Network. One of Mike and Leanne, his wife's passion, is marriages and helping marriages to start right, helping them to grow correctly, getting them over the humps. Like everybody has a hump or 2, 3, 5,000, 6, 200 million humps to get over. And sometimes it's just rekindling the spark. Mike ran Marriage Matters for the Family Leader for many years. And then when the Family Leader changed leaders, Mike chose to leave. And last year we kicked this in again. If you go to marriagematterslive.com, marriagematterslive.com, MARRIAGE, Marriage Matters, MATTERS, live, LIVE.com. You can see all about this marriage getaway. And I get the opportunity to talk about our identity as couples. It's one of the things that the good Lord has blessed me with is understanding, at least discerning enough to speak about who our identity is in Christ. In other words, who did Christ create me to be? And what kind of person am I, and in this particular case, in a marriage? What's my role in a marriage? A biblically centered marriage. And if you think you can't live a biblically centered marriage, I'm sorry. Let me tell you something I know you don't want to hear. You're wrong. God, your creator, wants you to live a biblical centered marriage. Your spouse wants to live a biblical-centered marriage. You, without knowing it, want to live a biblical-centered marriage. There's only one person that doesn't want you to have a biblically, am I saying that right?
Yes.
Biblically centered marriage. You know who that is? the accuser. He wants to cause havoc, raise Cain within your marriage. He wants discontent. He wants sexual paralysis. Paralysis? That's not the right word.
Paralysis?
Yeah. He wants the sex between you and your partner to be the 10,000-pound canary in the corner that nobody wants to talk about. In-laws. Do you know the number one reason, the number one challenge in marriages, do you know what it is? You're right, it's money. You know what number two is? In-laws. Seriously. Now, I'm lucky. I had, excuse me, one of the greatest father-in-laws that ever lived. He's been gone now for 10 years. But he was a preacher. Taught me a lot. Still have his tie hanging up on my wall in my office. And my mother-in-law, which is still living, is just an amazing woman. My wife comes from the best stock, as us old ranchers would say.
That tells me that you're blessed.
That I'm blessed?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I told you, when I die and go to heaven, God's going to reveal to me, and I know this isn't biblical, so it's just my fantasy, that I'm going to die and get to heaven, and there's going to be my wife with angel wings on. And he said, Mac, you screwed up everything in your life so bad, I had no hope. You hadn't even found Jesus yet, so until the time that you could find Jesus, I'm going to send you this angel. And her name is CJ. And you better listen to her and pay attention, because she is celestial. Celestial.
Okay.
That's not the right word. Celeste. You know what I'm saying.
Celestial. Yeah.
Yeah. How can we have a biblically centered marriage? Does that mean that you can't have a glass of wine? No. Does that mean you have to go to church every Sunday? No. Does that mean you have to begin and end every day in prayer with your spouse? No. Mm-mm. What does it mean? What is the requirement? What is the essential to have a biblically centered marriage? Do you know what it is, Bob?
I would say it's the Lord.
Have you ever heard the speech that I like to give, in which I start out by saying, you know, I've discovered after 38 years of marriage, the marriage isn't for me anymore. You ever heard that term?
I remember hearing you say that.
Yeah. Sorry, after all these years, marriage isn't for me anymore. No, it's not for my wife either. We both gave up. It's too tough. Physical part, getting old, temperature differences, light and dark, what time we want to go to bed, what time we want to get up, how many covers here, how many covers there, where do the coffee cups go, what Christmas decorations should not be put out anymore because they're too old, how fast do we drive, how slow do we walk. It's just too hard. So marriage isn't for her either. But we're fortunate enough that we've decided that marriage is for God. He brought us together for a union. And that union wasn't just to have a child. And the union wasn't just to raise a child. Because if that was the case, we'd be like some insect or animal that as soon as our children are born and out of the nest, we die. But we don't. We live on. And we get a spirit that says, I have a plan for you and a purpose, like Jeremiah said. And as a couple in your second half of your life with the kids gone, what is your marriage going to become? How are you going to help other people? Are you going to step down into the youngins and help them? That doesn't work. They never want to listen to us. We're too old. We're grandma and grandpa. So maybe you help somebody your own age who's having a trouble in marriage. Maybe you help a widower. Whatever it is, marriage isn't for you anymore. It's for God. And if you want to learn some of these things and have a good weekend with your spouse, go to our website at marriagematterslive.com. It's Friday, February 14th. Yes, that's Valentine's Day. And then Saturday morning, We'll start out with a newlywed game, and we'll end with a renewal of your vows with your family there. Candlelight dinner from Barada's. Dr. Mike and Leanne Hartwig in split sessions on how to get your spouse to play on your team. She'll talk to the girls. She'll talk to the boys, and he'll talk to the girls. It's great stuff. Try it. Give that to your spouse as a Valentine's present. A Marriage Isn't For Me seminar. It's at Grace Church, Grace East, 14th and 15th of February. I hope to see you there. Until then, take care. Tom Coates tomorrow. I'm J. Michael McCoy. If I haven't told you yet, thanks for listening. I love this job. I couldn't do it without you. Right here on 99.3 KTIA, powered by webcast1live.com.